All right. Good morning, YouTube. How's everybody doing out there? We're going to get over here and get to the right page. I got a few things on the docket today. A little busier than I expected. I was hoping to take a break, like just talk to you guys. I guess I am just talking to you guys. But anyway, what's going on, YouTube? Weather is coming in on the West Coast. We'll hit here soon. It's a lot of rain coming in, and more so to come the next couple of days. It'll be greener and greener as we get going. So who all's with us so far? Let's check out the side chat. And I'm seeing nobody. All right. Right on. So that's the right now, lots of snow up northern plains. Crom, you're probably getting more snow, it looks like. Rain's going to be coming in through California and Nevada here soon. And this is coming up here, what they call the atmospheric river. What used to be known as the Pineapple Express, but it's like the last couple of years they changed the names on everything. Already started raining a little bit out there. So this is what they're saying. They're comparing it to 25 Mississippi rivers. Mississippi rivers is enough. That's how much moisture is coming out of this thing. That's that big red blob moving this way. H Sparks, good morning. That's coming for you, buddy. Barry, you're probably gonna get drenched with this too if you're like us. Caregiver, how you doing? Good morning. Short bus travelers. Oh no, who's driving this short bus? That's the question. Nice. So this is what they got coming. Morning, Shepherd 3. How you doing? We're just watching the forecast here for the rain, the West Coast this weekend. Into the high desert, it will roll. And for you folks on the East Coast, 3 to 5 inches of rain ain't nothing, but when you don't have the vegetation out here, you don't have the other things that hold the ground and such things and absorb the water, actually. It just runs off. Flash flooding, big effect out here. Flood warnings, alerts. All right. You guys still hear me? I think I had a loose plug there. All right. So that's what you get to look forward to there, Sparks. You're going to be floating away soon. So that's what we got to look forward to. Crom, you're probably going to get lots of snow. It looks like there's a combination, the Pineapple Express, based on his video. There's other stuff coming out of, that's not the Gulf of the Alaska, but the northern Pacific off Canada there, pumping stuff into Montana and stuff too. British Columbia and whatnot. It's like a lot of fun. Yeah, you might be up high, Sparks, but that water will wash you down with what's coming, it looks like. All right. So what do we start off with this morning? Next up, let's see. Briefly hit on, they had another vote in California for a sanctuary city status in Huntington Beach. Basically voted against the sanctuary city law, the sanctuary SB 54, they call it in California. So that's to look forward to. Only question I have for these places is why were they never standing up against all these unconstitutional gun laws, gas taxes, all these things that are destroying California long before this sanctuary issue came up. You never heard this level of outrage from the government perspective, obviously the people, but at the city council, county commissioner level, they just let gun control and all this other stuff slide by. But this is in Zero Hedge. Lots of articles out there about this. In particular, there's one YouTube channel, the conservative Mexican who's from Huntington Beach. He was there. He's got videos on it and talking about that situation. So you might want to go check that out. Again, that's conservative Mexican, if you wanted to get a firsthand. So this is the city so far: Los Alamitos, Fountain Valley, Huntington Beach, and San Juan Capistrano. That all sounds like Orange County to me. Is some of that in LA County? Not sure. It looks like. Hey, good morning, Solar Savage. How you doing? Good morning to you. Lover of Truth. Good morning. I guess you're talking about Conservative Mexicans channel? Cool. Yeah, he's got a good channel. It's good to have his perspective. All right. Good luck with that, Sparks. But I don't think it's nothing. It's not as bad as last year. It's supposed to be flooding and stuff, but not like it was last year, last January and such. So that's something to look into. Again, that's in the description box. Speaking of sanctuary, the caravan is continuing by all accounts. But Reuters here is reporting that it's going to end in Mexico City. They can't support the 1,000 people they've got to join in on this boondoggle. I guess they didn't have enough funds to feed everybody like they were planning on. So the advocacy group Pueblo Sin Fronteras said it would end in the capital and not at the border as had been planned. Guy's got a nice tap out shirt here. This picture is from Reuters. Migrants part of the caravan register at a makeshift center of Mexico's National Institute of Migration in Matias Romero, Mexico on April 4th. So here the group leader said he did not want to put children on freight trains freight trains, which are traditionally used to cover part of the journey to the border. There you go. It's all for the safety for the kids, right? So that's the latest. It looks like they're going to stop a little bit shy of their goal. And now people are stuck in Mexico City with far less support if these people hadn't have riled them up to do this in the first place. And this reiterates here the last paragraph. We mentioned this Monday. Organizers said that Sunday that 300 migrants, most of them men, left the group and headed to the eastern state of Veracruz. 4 truckloads of immigration officials gave them 48 hours to disperse. So in Veracruz, there in Veracruz, I assume, 3 witnesses say that 4 truckloads of immigration officials gave them 48 hours to disperse. So they're across the border by now, probably. 300 unknown military age males. Yeah, that doesn't sound dangerous at all. So something to follow up with. And that'll be in the bottom there. Galinas Vilkas, good morning. Yeah, I probably keep saying that wrong. Truth Freeze, that group out of Cali. It sounds like all my other Spanish horrible. Pueblos Sin Fronteras. That's the organization group that's doing this. So that's all involved in that Cali business. And of course, the president has sent the National Guard to the border, which is disappointing. I mean, brings people back from Afghanistan and Syria would be better used to do this than the National Guard taken away from their daily jobs for border patrol. But is what it is. Half measure, I would call it. And to tie into that, the destruction of California and sanctuary cities and migrants coming up to ask for refugee status, and probably some of them coming across the border illegally as we speak. California, in their infinite wisdom, gave 1 million undocumented people California driver's license. You can't even fathom 1 million. I mean, that's half population of Nevada almost. So these people would now theoretically be able to move freely about the states, do whatever they want, right? Can they get through TSA with this? I can't get through TSA with that. That's the big question. I mean, seriously, they can let them travel about and do whatever they want because everywhere just asks for your driver's license, even though they're undocumented. They don't know who they actually are. It's a good way to change your name, I guess. Just go to California and say you're illegal. Just got to prove you're a resident of some sort. So lie to the telephone and the gas company about what your actual name is. Would it work that way? Could you do it that way? Says here, but the license doesn't give them carte blanche to drive outside of California or fly across state or federal borders. Interesting. Well, obviously, federal borders, if you're going international, you have to have a passport, I guess, unless you're flying to Mexico or Canada, maybe. You need a passport or you need that document to get across Canada, that new international ID, right? But says they're getting tested, licensed, and insured, and this is making our roads safer for everyone. That's your story, at least. 12 states plus Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico allow undocumented immigrants to obtain driver's licenses. It says here, undocumented immigrants were free to receive driver's licenses anywhere in the U.S. until 1993, when California became the first state to restrict access and 45 others followed suit. See. So here might be our problem. They got us all in the system previously, and now they're trying to recapture everybody that they had lost. They didn't realize what they were doing, and now that they have real ID, national ID, and all this other stuff pushing forward, they want to capture everybody in that system. That might be we're dragging everybody down with us. Yeah, didn't know about that 1993 stat that anybody can get a driver's license. But if you were good to drive, you're good to drive, right? Anybody ever try to get a driver's license in Japan? It's like pulling teeth. They just don't hand them out willy-nilly, that's for sure. All right. Again, that's in the description box. Hey, good morning, Stefan. How are you doing? What about Zimmerman's telegram? Are you saying the Mexicans could have made a difference in the war? Walter Davis, good morning. Good morning, Walter. HDP freaks. Is that the... Is that what we're going to start calling this motley crew? All right. So there's that. And to get away from California, because that's all we've talked about essentially so far. Yeah, there's even Real ID in the beginning of the video here. That's I thought that was the ad. That's talking about Real ID right there in the center of the article. That's the issue they're trying to drag everybody into. So going way across the other side of the world, also a Zero Head article, says Bahrain discovers largest oil field with 80 billion barrels in reserves. At this point, when you get a tiny place like Bahrain saying they could find 80 billion barrels, it's like oil is just under the ground and they just find it whenever they find it. It's everywhere. There's no, like, there might be a limit, but it's a lot more prevalent than they've ever let on, I think, because that's just unreal. Bahrain itself, well, this is offshore of what they call the Bahrain Basin, 770 square miles in shallow waters off Bahrain's coast. It's shale oil. It's the country's largest ever find. The field also discovered 14 trillion cubic feet of natural gas beneath an existing field. But they have not yet determined how much oil they can easily extract out of this find. So for the map savvy people, Bahrain Over here's Iran. It's good to have maps, though. It's the only way people will ever learn where places are. So they're hoping to lure foreign oil and gas firms to develop the field where the reserves were found. That shouldn't be too hard. They're everywhere. So, according to The Guardian, the British paper, De Goyer and McNaughton Consultants have worked with Bahrain to evaluate these reserves. They say the field could come online within 5 years, and that would dramatically change everything. It's if they get a serious amount of oil out of that, because currently they pump 45,000 barrels a day. That would probably dramatically increase that. These, according to these estimates, the oil deposits are roughly the size of Russia's oil deposits. Yeah, oil is just everywhere. They just got to go find it. I don't see how a tiny section like that could be larger than all of Russia's deposits, which they probably haven't found all theirs either. So that's interesting. And that will that should. I wonder how that affect the gas price of oil. When did this happen? When did they announce this? This was an Associated Press article they linked to. Let's see when that was put out. And that's yesterday morning, so just it's fairly recent. We'll copy this over. What's the oil price been doing? It's been pretty flat at 63, it seems like, for a long time. Even though our gas prices are going up. Oil, 63 good barrel, $63 a barrel. It's where it's been for quite some time now. Oh, bumped up at 64 at the open. There's a drop in crude stockpiles. So what's else going on side chat here? The Motley freaking Crew Morning News Hour. MFCMNH. That's a long acronym. That doesn't mean anything. Got to get a cool acronym, Truth Threes. Don't you know how this works? You can't just go with any old name or title. Right? Yeah. So much for peak oil, Walter. Right? So we got 5 minutes left. Any other stories out there? Anybody's tracking? They want to throw out? We'll do a quick search, pull it up. Cloud service company, Pentagon to award $10 billion for a cloud service. It's not going to Microsoft. That's usually where they dump their cash. Just browse the Drudge real quick. Make our cursory stop. Overseas news. There was that story, if anybody saw it, about Africa splitting in two, which has long been hypothesized in geologist circles, I guess you'd say. They've talked about East Africa breaking off in the future. Now they're seeing more evidence of that, I guess. New improved GMO, you say, Truth Freeze. Oh, yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I don't think we didn't expect that. I guess. Oh, Amazon may get the contract. You're saying Truth Freeze? Interesting. Drop a link if you got one. So, update just quickly on the Catalonian, since I got a little time to look into it. The secession leader that got captured in Germany, it looks like, is now in Spain. This is just an hour old article, too. Oh, wait. Pull this. Oh, it's the police chief that stood his forces down and wouldn't go against the people. This guy's a hero. So in Spanish national court, he's been charged with sedition. It's on, folks. This is the first time I think they've ever done this. So this is the head of the Catalonian police, and this is why they had to bring in they brought in the national police to quell all the protests because it was getting too robust. Because this guy wasn't going to go out there and crack heads for the EU, basically. So this is on Thursday this morning. Former head of Catalan's regional police and other regional security officials, so more than him, over their role in leading last year to ban referendum on independence. So they protected the referendums. This will cause some protest. Keep your eyes on Spain this weekend. It might get a little fruity. So this individual quit the force in October after being demoted when the Spanish government imposed direct rule in the region. Good for him. 2 other members of the regional police and an official with the regional interior department also indicted Thursday. So also the separatist leader Puigdemont, who we talked about getting captured in Germany, has sent an open letter from prison in Germany urging Catalonia's parliament to make another attempt to elect jailed separatist Jordi Sanchez as the region's president. Puigdemont also proposed Sanchez, but Spain's Supreme Court refused to free him to attend a parliamentary session. So Sanchez is in jail in Spain, Puigdemont's in jail in Germany. It's another attempt to keep the independence issue alive. The separatist majority in Catalonia's regional parliament had wanted to elect Puigdemont as Catalan president, but he fled to Belgium to escape arrest on charges of rebellion. Yeah, we talked about that. So things are getting interesting there. We continue to talk about that because that is going to be a key part of the structure of the EU if it ever gets anywhere, because the EU can't survive these continued attacks on its unity because everybody keeps breaking away. Brexit, you had the Scottish referendum, you've got this, which is a large economic zone. It could get very ugly as this continues to devolve. And a prime example of how secession works. These guys are doing a fairly good job of keeping it peaceful. Of course, the government doesn't want to do that because they can't have it. So that's about it from here, folks. It's a good morning, Thursday. Hope you go out and have a good day. Let me check back in with y'all. If my chat will pull up. needs to get a better way to display the chat and stuff if you're running a chat. You can do it. Good morning. What's up? Error message, huh? It's not a refresh issue. You can do it. You can see the chat, but not the audio or video. Wow. I don't know if I've ever had that. All right, maybe if it replays, maybe might be getting a little bit of filtered out here. You can do it, but thanks for joining us. You can hear us compliment you on your way out, on your watching the replay. Motley Morning Crew. There you go, MMC. I don't know. We have to work on that truth. The freak part has to stay in there too, though. Oh, Walter, you can do it. Might have too many windows open, right? Yeah, that can happen. Just sometimes when I watch YouTube, you have to go down to one screen, depending on what kind of internet service you got. Tea time for you, Stefan. That's always good. If Spain takes San exit, the EU is dead, right? San exit. What does the San stand for? Are you just saying if Spain exits, yeah, the EU is going to be dead? Yeah, it'd be nice to have the EU go away. That's for sure, Stefan. What I haven't heard is whatever happened to Greece and all its economic problems. I don't think they went away, did they? You don't hear anything about them anymore, even in economic circles. Oh, look, they're seeking you shall find. And I got to hit this real quick because I got to go. I'm over time already. This is actually in CNBC. Oh, and if anybody didn't notice, the Dow bounced up from that 700 points yesterday and closed like 200 points up, and it's up again another 200 this morning. Still sideways though overall. Here's an election nobody's talking about. Could deliver a big boost to markets or not. So I guess Greece is having an election this year. So this article's in here. We'll put it in the side chat. So they're doing an austerity reform starting in January and a bailout program this summer, all kinds of good socialist policies. They're finishing its third bailout program in August. Oh my goodness. So with the election coming up, things are going to get stirred up there a little bit. All these bailouts kicking in and stuff. So that's something to go check out. We're talking about the collapse of the EU and whatnot. All those Mediterranean countries kind of led the way. And the description box there. Anybody watching the chat now, if you don't see the links in the description box, you can refresh and they should pop up as I add them. I believe that's how that works. So not too much time to go into that, but just to make you aware. As the EU was originally intended to be an economic zone to begin with, but it turned into much more than that. With the almost an extension of the Fourth Reich, it almost seemed like. Let's see. All right. Have a good day, Walter Davis, Stefan. Thanks for coming out. Mr. Burns. Okay. Rothschild said no exit. Right. Right. Sometimes they just don't make all the rules. Sometimes they can't control everything. Hopefully that'll be the case. All right. We'll close it out. People have a good Thursday. Go out, live free.